Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode number 11. I'm your host, the Batman Statue Collector, and I'm really glad to be back with you again this week. I've got an amazing panel, but before we do, I want to apologize for being a little late tonight. We're having some audio issues, and we think it is because of Google Hangouts. Talking with the panel before the show, it seems like a lot of people are having trouble hearing each other over the last week or so with other chats as well. So hopefully you'll be able to hear us. We have no idea, and some of us can hear each other and some of us can't, so please bear with us. But I would officially like to welcome all the gallery. First of all, I'd like to welcome, of course, usually with us, the Dark Lord himself, Mr. Thor Gunderson's in the house.
It's always a pleasure to be in Gotham, and as always, we are honored we could join you.
Thank you very much. Then, of course, it's been a little while, but all the way down from Texas, correct? He's all the way down there. Jason Stillwell's with us today.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Hi there. Then, of course, we have Mr. Jeremy Alejandro in the house. He was with us on the last show.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Glad to be back.
Hi there. We also have Lawrence Ull back with us.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Doing great. Thank you. We also have Johnny Waddell, I believe, making his first appearance on Rogues Gallery Live.
Yep. Excited to be in Batman land. So thanks for having me.
We're really glad to have you. And we're also another first timer. We're really glad to have Barbara Lopez on the channel.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy to be here. My first Rogues Gallery.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. And again, sorry for all the audio issues. Again, hopefully we'll monitor the chat, and hopefully you'll be able to hear us. And I didn't miss Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff Morris. I forgot to say hi, Jeff. Sorry, I got my own thought there. Welcome. Jeff's always with us, so he's all good. Anyway, the last two shows we've had two guests on. So tonight's more of a regular show for us. The last two shows we had Sideshow Susan, of course, and then Athena Figure, two dream chats and interviews for me. So thank you guys so much for watching those shows. But tonight I kind of want to get back to topic-based stuff. I've got two topics that are going to kind of blend into each other, and then we have a few photos to look at. It won't be too long of a show tonight, but I'm anxious to hear what the gallery has to say about some of our topics. The first one, a lot of collectors I've been seeing on Facebook and on YouTube, leaving comments about some of the various issues with shipping. I know that collectors for a long time overseas and different places have had to pay, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for shipping. Also import taxes and fees. I feel like in the United States, we've been pretty lucky, mostly dealing with Sideshow. Prices have been pretty consistent, I guess you could say. But here lately, I feel like the prices for shipping have been really kind of out of hand, in my opinion. I received a Prime 1 Catwoman a few weeks back, a really heavy piece, one box, and it was $40. But then I got the Batman Hush that's up there, and it was $200. And so it just seems that some things are inconsistent. I just wanted to hear from the panel, what do you guys think about shipping and the costs that you're seeing? And have you experienced some of these shipping hikes as well?
I haven't experienced any personally, but I usually buy straight from Sideshow or, fellow collectors. I think the most I paid for any shipping was from a fellow collector, and when I bought Prime 1 Venom. So, and I mean, that was about $200, but it's different when you're shipping yourself than when a company's shipping. So.
Yeah, I haven't experienced any hikes either. But most of my pieces are quarter scales, so I don't have anything yet like a 1/3 to maybe compare it to. My most expensive ones have been the XM ones, but obviously they're national. They're international shipping, so that would explain the cost of shipping. But from Sideshow, I haven't had any issues lately.
I haven't ordered an XM piece, Barbara. How much does shipping usually cost overseas?
I think the most I paid was $250, and that was for my Ghost Rider, around $250. You're looking at $150, $200, $250, depending on the size of the statue, definitely.
Did you have to pay any sort of import fee on top of that?
No, that's all I paid. No import fees.
Just flat?
Yeah, just flat.
Okay. How about the rest of the gallery? What do you guys think about the shipping costs lately?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I don't understand, you can go to, say for example, I'm not trying to plug anything on your show, Chris, but you can go to the Big Bad Toy Store, for example, and you can they are a retail distributor of Sideshow pieces and other pieces as well, like XM, and they've got some other stuff on their site, and they've got $4 flat rate shipping on a lot of pieces, and so they're selling those at retail. You know what Sideshow would sell them for from their website, and some of those pieces do offer $4 flat rate shipping. So how can they do that? And the main distributor themselves is not able to do that. I'm lost on, if there's that big of a markup in terms of, maybe Big Bad Toy Store has a special account because they get so many pieces or whatever, because they're a huge retail distributor themselves. Maybe that, the pieces don't cost them that much retail wise, and so they can do that, but it doesn't seem to add up to me that they would be able to take that kind of a hit if they weren't making that much on the actual statue itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
with
is
Big
really-
Bad Toy Store, they also do sell some XM pieces, which that's where it's crazy to me. Is like I could understand them doing $4 flat rate shipping for some other stuff if they have like a deal with the shipping companies, but for XM pieces, yeah, it's crazy that they're able to still offer that same thing.
Yeah, I got the War Machine piece from Big Bad Toy Store, and that box is as big as the box Robin came in, and it was $4.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so if you're not too worried about getting an exclusive, you can essentially get the same statue minus the exclusive and get the shipping for $4. So, really, when you think about it, to get the exclusive, you're paying now, it's $15 more by and large, and then you're paying $100 to $200 more for the shipping. So you're really spending $100 to $200 more just to get an exclusive, and it's like, is it really worth it? And doesn't seem to be in a lot of cases.
Well, at first, I really thought that maybe some of the discrepancies would be because of the, around the new year. I thought maybe some of the shipping rules had changed, dealing with China and getting the things in from them. But then I kind of seems like everything kind of settled back down. But I just like, and I do say, I mentioned the Prime One piece that I have, like, I think I had it wrong. I think Hush was 180, and Mr. Freeze, who I just got today. So if you guys want to see him here in the Batcave, it's going to be in box tomorrow. But he was 200, and it was 2 boxes. And I will say that Freeze was incredibly heavy. It's my heaviest piece I've ever received, by far. Do you agree, Jason, on that, lifting those boxes?
Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah. And that's probably my expensive, mine came from Prime One. So I just knew, whoa, that's expensive. But I also was thinking, well, I realized it's coming from way far away. So I just kind of accepted it. I was just glad to have him,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely heavy.
Do any of you guys have a limit? Like if you wanted a piece, but shipping was outrageous, would you say enough's enough? I'm just not going to pay that because the shipping's so high, or do you have a limit or a cutoff?
I think it just depends on the piece. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
for
agree.
Prime One Venom, it was 2 giant boxes, so I understood, paying the shipping costs I paid. I understood why I was paying that, but yeah, it just depends on the piece, because if it's a 1/4 piece and it's not like it's one box, like I'm probably not going to want to pay more than $100 for shipping. Yeah.
Well, like I hear collectors, they'll message me and say that, that maybe they live in Germany or somewhere and they paid $600 or $700 for something that we pay $100 for because of all the fees and things. Would you guys be priced out at that point?
I would.
Yeah, there's no way I would. If it costs as much as even half, that seems egregious. Even a quarter of what the statue costs. If you get one of these premium formats now that are $500-$600, if it costs $150-$200 to ship a quarter scale premium format, it's a quarter of the cost to a third of the cost of the statue. Like what you're just paying that much more now. Where I used to have a local retail store here too that just could get the non-exclusive pieces, and then you go in and pay retail price, and there was no shipping at all. So, I think there are other options out there, and if shipping prices continue to go up like that, I could see a lot of guys just saying, forget the exclusive, and I'll go to Big Bad Toy Store if I've got a local store in town. I know some of my friends have done that where they live. It's like, oh, I'll just go to the local store and get the non-exclusive. I don't care about the extra hand, and I'll save $200.
Reading some of the comments, Jim Mint said, welcome, Stephen. He did say that he paid $400 for Jubilee. Escrow Analysis Guru says 1/3 scale Hush from Prime 1 was $315 to ship to Texas. So it's crazy. Like, I paid $180 just from California to Kansas, where I am, and $315 all the way from China, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. I checked from Prime One's website. Their shipping the Hush to Tennessee was $380.
Ooh.
Wow.
So that's like, oh hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys over in Tennessee, do you ever get a tax from extra tax from FedEx or anybody?
I've only ordered one piece directly from Prime One, and it was on sale, so it came in under $1,000. So I didn't get anything extra on that one. But I have a feeling that if it was over $1,000, that seems to be the magic number when you start getting a notice after you receive it that you still owe more money.
Yeah, had that happen to me when I ordered Batman Beyond back in the day, straight from Prime One, and FedEx tagged on an extra like $55.
How long ago was that?
2017.
So this is not just a new thing. So this has been going on for a while.
Or 2018. Might have been last summer. Yeah, probably 2018.
Summer. Okay.
Yeah, see, I'm surprised by that too, because I got my very first one. I've only ordered one piece directly from Prime One, and that was my Arkham Knight Joker. I got a bill, I think it was 3 weeks later, for $60 from FedEx, which was a fee I wasn't expecting. But that's interesting that you said that, because I also thought it was just started here in the new year. But it seems like it's been something that has been going along for a while. Does Prime One list, Johnny, on their website that there's going to be an import fee of some sort?
No, I had no clue. I actually didn't get it until about a month later, because I was in the middle of moving. Also, I moved from Virginia to South Carolina, so I bought it when I was in Virginia. It got shipped to me in Virginia, and then I moved, and then I got the notice from FedEx like about a month later. So I had no clue it was even coming, and then when it came, I actually called to see what it was all about, because I was like, why am I have to pay this? Like, I shouldn't have to pay this, but I had to pay it because they were going to send it to collections if I didn't.
Yeah, and that's the weirdest thing is that other collectors, that when this all came about with my Joker, we kind of posted on here and we said, or at least some collectors said, usually whenever they get an import tax, they have to pay it in order to receive the statue. And if they don't pay it, then they don't get the statue. But I thought it was weird in both of our cases that we got a bill way after the fact. It's just weird that FedEx doesn't hand you a bill when they drop it off. Like, that's...
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah.
It's
That was
kind
my
of...
only experience.
I'm sorry. It's kind of weird because I'm looking at my orders right now, and like for Thor, I paid like $54, and then I'm actually looking at my Magneto, and it says 0 shipping. I have my anti-venom 0 shipping. My Venom is 0 shipping. I don't know. I could have sworn I paid $100 for the Venom, but all my shipping says 0. I don't know if maybe that's an issue with Sideshow once they switched the website.
Yeah, it's probably got messed up once they switched the site. If you ordered those before they changed it.
But it's funny because my Magneto shows the shipping. And that was before they changed the website.
No, things all messed up, man.
I could have sworn I paid only $100, but I've never paid really much with Sideshow, just with the XM. But I would expect that from XM since it's coming overseas. So
The only one I think that I paid exorbitantly high from Sideshow was the Iron Studios 1/3 Batman, which I didn't think was too crazy. That's a 50-pound piece, and I don't know. I think I paid like 150-ish for that, or something like that. 153 maybe, somewhere around there. So I mean, I'd say that was the most expensive one, but again, you're talking about a 50-pound piece that
Well,
was
this
in the biggest box I've ever seen.
this guy here was $400.
Oh boy.
Yeah, sure.
How big was the box on that, Thor?
It was big. It wasn't the biggest one I have is Ghost Rider Easy. But it was. I think he was the second big. I think because of the the bike or whatever. But it's Ghost Rider is definitely the biggest box I have. But yeah, it was $400.
Well, it's a damn beautiful piece.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm waiting on the Saber to come back, and then it's really gonna be special.
Right.
Chicken on your Thor.
How much was it? I can't hear Thor or Barbara.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
it's $400 for ship that.
For the ghost
Jeez.
No, for Darth Maul.
Oh,
Darth
okay.
Maul. 400 to ship his Darth
XM.
Maul.
Yeah, XM.
That was the last XM I got in, and
Mm.
that one was
Wow.
400. Yeah.
You're making me nervous because I got Starscream on order and Optimus Prime.
Ooh, man.
And
Those are going to be some big boxes.
yeah,
You're going to start
Starscream.
screaming.
yeah.
He's got Optimus too.
Oh, man.
Oh.
If it gets in the three, number 3, if it starts with a 3, unless it's $30, okay. If it starts with 3 and it has 3 numbers in it, that's when I start to think, oh my God, shipping. I don't know. I can handle like
it's bare minimum is gonna be $300. I'm just getting you ready right now.
yeah.
Yeah. For one, not for both of them. For one of them.
Yeah, but the good thing about XM pieces is with the made to order, you're almost guaranteed it's gonna at least hold its value or go up.
Yeah.
These days, And
The
that's
only thing is, I've never sold one statue yet, so.
yeah, but but at least you'll know it's worth paying that extra shipping, because
Yeah.
if you ever did have to sell it, God forbid that you'd still be able to get your money back. So
Yeah. You know what? I'm kind of like this. I'm kind of like if I go to Disney World, let's say, and the lines are long, you know what? I've already paid to get in, so I might as well enjoy everything instead of. So it's like I've ordered them. Whatever happens. I'm gonna be happy when I get them, and I'll just Megatron I haven't got yet. Maybe I'm gonna see how I feel, and then be like determine what I do next. But I'll definitely be. I usually don't try to have any regrets when I'm ordering stuff. I made my choice. I'm gonna enjoy it, and then try to learn from the next one I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 XM pieces coming. I haven't put down my pre-order for Doc Ock yet, but I'm going to soon. But I got Spider-Man also on pre-ordering. It's one of those things like with the made to order, you have to pre-order and you just gotta eat the shipping costs on XM pieces. But I think that's the only reason why I'm gonna eat the shipping costs is because it's made to order. And I saw what happened with Scorpion, and I like that piece, and I'm not gonna pay the over $2K that it's going for. So I'm gonna wait and be patient. But same thing happened with Storm, and so I just think it's gonna keep going like that, man. Like made to order is really jacking up these resale prices, so you got to pre-order.
Yeah, I wanted Storm, and I was kind of looking just to see on eBay anything with Storm, and it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, but yeah, just someday maybe down the road, I don't know.
Well, what I'm hearing from most of you guys is you say if the piece is worth it enough to you, you're willing to pay a little bit more of those high costs in shipping, correct?
Definitely.
For the most part.
Right. But it also depends on what the retail price of the piece is because XM pieces are actually reasonable retail prices. They're about $800 retail. So then when you pay the shipping, you're still only paying you're paying over $1,000, but now you got 1/4 pieces. Freaking Batman on the bike, 0 years, go 1,600 from Prime 1. So
Oh.
I don't know if we're getting that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that soon, but I don't mean to jump the gun, but yeah, when you think about stuff like that, it's just like, it kind of makes it okay to me.
Does it make any of you, with shipping so high in a lot of cases, does it make you want to collect a smaller scale so you can get more pieces?
Nah.
Or do you still want to stay with the bigger pieces?
I can't do a smaller scale.
I think
not smaller than 1/4 at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I like 1/5. I think it's a nice scale. I think they've been able to get some really great detail out of a lot of the most recent 1/5 pieces. If you take a look at what Sideshow's been able to do with the Masters of the Universe line, or if you take a look at what they've been able to do with
the
Mythos line,
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
and then of course some of the other things that Prime One's now doing with some of their 1/5 pieces. I think the bases are smaller, so there's a smaller footprint there. So I personally like that smaller footprint in terms of that because it gives you more space and more options. And obviously, to your point, it's going to be a little less expensive, and shipping's probably going to be a little less expensive. So you could do with a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else want to say anything on this topic before we move on?
I was just gonna say, sometimes it's just patience, man. Like if you don't want to pay, crazy shipping for a piece, just be patient because especially people overseas, like were saying before, with the extremely high shipping costs and import taxes and things like that. Just be patient because someone else around you is gonna get it, and then maybe they'll sell it later on to you.
Yeah, you sound like my guru Thor, because I have learned from that man.
I'm gonna tell you,
patience.
This guy is the perfect example of that. I mean, not far as shipping, but retail Kylo Ren was $560. I got him brand new for $350 last week. So awesome. It's space and opportunity, y'all. Space and opportunity.
Yeah, I also got my Kylo Ren for a really good price.
Yeah.
Back when I got it, so yeah.
It is a buyer's market right now for sure. I mean, but like I said, I give a lot of credit to you, Thor, because what you've said over the last couple months has made a lot of sense to me. Is just waiting and there was a piece I wanted recently, and I thought I'd have to wait for a long time. I got lucky, but I know that there are other pieces out there that if you just wait, and eventually it's going to come up for sale. Somebody's going to sell it for a good price, and if it's more than you want to pay, just keep waiting because it'll get there.
That's right. This week on Open Mic, statue yoga, y'all. Statue yoga.
Namaste. Hey, I want to give a shout out to the 80-some people in the chat. Back here a little bit and go back to the beginning and see who's all in here tonight. I want to say hi to Richie Meyer. We've got Mr. PJ, the Paradox Nerd. PJ. Got Marcos.
Where is he?
Let's see who else. We got 8-Bit Flea in the house. Bruna, of course. Thank you, Bruna, for being here. We've got Chris Crow, Travis Billington. We've got Whiplash Collector in the house. Mr. Steven. Steven might pop on if he can. Hey, there's PJ right there. Hey, PJ.
Yeah, my son was trying to say "eat your boy," and he couldn't do it. He's trying to be a YouTube star, but he can't handle it. He's too shy. Now what's going on, guys?
Start him young.
No, because whenever whenever I'm like filming something, he's always like, I'm always saying "eat your boy," and he's always copying me. So that's why he's like, wanted to come on real quick. But what's up, everyone? Sorry.
That's all right. I'm just doing some shout outs. Welcome. I'm glad you can come on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
We've got, let's see, Mr. Jeff Morris is in the chat. Hey, Jeff. Let's see. We've got, I don't remember if I said Archangel is in the house with us as always. Thank you guys for always being on the show. We've got Gigi Chungus. Let's see. Marcos S. Dan 14 Prime. I saw Jim Mint in just a little bit ago. Edwin Diaz is here.
ED.
We've got Folks the Master Barber. Awesome. Welcome. Thank you. Adrian 76. Jesse Hernandez. Jason M. We've got Dark Mustafa as always with us. Nate Nance. Odd Couple Statue Reviews. Jason. Glad you're here. Let's see. See if I'm going to miss anybody. Child of the Atom at Tim's in here. Zachary Bowers. Let's see. Ed Dude. If I miss anybody, I think we got just about everybody. Oh, the Rogue One. Rogue Rick is in the house. Dead Cool Pool. J. Remy. Red Hood. Bashara. Awesome. Thank you guys so very much for being in here tonight. And I think that's a good segue to move into our second topic, pardon me, that goes a lot with the first. We've seen some really, really dramatic price increases here in the last month. To me, it kind of started with the Sideshow Juggernaut. And then kind of a bomb was dropped this week with the Prime 1 piece. It's the Batman 0 year. It's the one where he's on the bicycle. We'll see some pictures of that here in just a bit. But that was, dropped $1,600 for what some people are questioning is a 1/4, 1/5-ish scale piece. There's still some confusion there, and I've tried to contact Prime 1 for some clarity, and I haven't heard back. So I don't know, but these prices are, in my mind, I mean, we've said this for the last 2 years, they just keep getting out of hand, but collectors keep paying them. But so where are we at? What do you guys think right now in the collecting world? Where are we at with the money stuff? I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I'm out.
I hope.
Mic drop. I'm out. There you went.
I hope some collectors are gonna not buy it. Send a message to Prime 1. But you think about it, like something like Hush Superman is cheaper than that Batman 0 year. It's crazy. It just makes no sense.
This guy right here is cheaper than 0 year.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy, man.
This beautiful masterpiece of a statue is cheaper than that piece.
Yeah, and it's much bigger, more shelf presence, everything, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know where they come up with it, and it's like, did they have some sort of algorithm? I don't get it. Is it the factories? Are they charging more?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
So for me, just jump in real quick. Seriously pricing me out. I'm going to be totally honest. I think with the amount of statue companies that's releasing this, like every year, especially like with anime statue companies, I noticed there's a big hike in that. The prices are going up. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I can't afford like $1,000 statues, every single time. And plus the shipping price is going to be like $200-$300. So you're thinking about paying like $1,500-$1,600 on an average for a quarter scale piece. Yeah, I don't think I could keep up with that. I mean, I love to collect a lot of the statues, and I just can't keep up. I think at some point it's just going to price out sellers and people, depending if what's his name comes back. You're
talking about Randy Bowen?
Yeah, Bowen comes back. I'm like thinking about. Sorry, I'm tired. Randy Bowen comes back and brings back the 1/6 scale line. Then I think people are going to start segueing to that. I mean, even Iron Studios sees like a pattern with how quarter scale statues are being more expensive, so they're going like the 1/10 scale route, and they're doing an awesome job with that, and that's selling out pretty quickly, So I don't know. For me, I'm out. if this is a trend where it keeps going up, I'm out. So
yeah, but even Iron Studios has pretty reasonable prices considering what they're selling with their 1/4 pieces. I mean, look at that new Hulk that just came out with like a 100-pound statue, and that thing's still cheaper than 0 year. So
yeah.
I think the prices have gone ridiculously insane. I don't know, that Batman on the bike. Shoots, I got my Punisher for $1,000, the XM1 on the bike, with the shipping. And well, my Ghost Rider, that's a grail. I paid like $2,200 for it, but that's because I also got a custom light up head with it. But for instance, I don't know that Batman on the bike, does it have any switch outs, or it's just the way it is?
The only switch out is there's a crossbow and then there's like a grapple gun. So it's just the gun that you can swap out.
Something he's holding, yeah.
See, I'm getting the Batman Dark Knight from Prime 1, and it's $1,200, but we're talking about 3 alternative portraits, 2 switchable chest emblems. You got 2 interchangeable right hands, 1 interchangeable left hand, and 1 interchangeable pair of hands with a grappling hook. So way cheaper, and I'm getting just so many different options to change my statue around, you know. For example, that Juggernaut also, you know, it's 1,400 with the shipping will probably be 1,500, 600, somewhere around that line. And there is no swap outs. The exclusive is just Kitty Pryde. So for me, that's a no. That option is a no. I think it's very expensive, and if I'm gonna spend that kind of money, I at least want several options, and they're not giving it. I think the prices are too expensive.
What do the rest of you guys think? Where are you guys at with it?
Let the guru tell you the plan, my friend.
Here,
I already know
The guru is actually, this is no joke. I've actually stopped pre-ordering stuff. You know what I mean? Because I just wait in the weeds and wait for stuff to pop up. Now with the Prime 1 stuff, now I know y'all might not want to hear this. You wait about a year or two, and you can catch that winter sale or that summer sale. You get that stuff 30% off. Tell him, Jeff. Jeff gone. You know, Jeff the one turned me on to that stuff. You know, so eventually that Batman will go on sale in about a year or two. You might have to wait, but you can get that. And then you know, like I just said with Kylo Ren, got him $200 under retail. You wait, it'll happen. You know, it's just you just gotta you gotta stay awake though. You know, you gotta look for the deals. You stay in the groups, and it'll happen. Like I said, I'm unless it's you know, I did pre-order fan art because you gotta pre-order fan arts. But maybe if XM does make any more Star Wars pieces, then you know, it's made to order, you gotta pre-order that. But all the other run-of-the-mill stuff with like 3,000 edition size, eventually at some point you'll be able to get it. So
Well, I think
everybody chill out.
Yeah, and you made a really good point, Thor, about fan arts, and you can see some of the fan art stuff now is actually pretty damn impressive and less expensive even. You know, there was a time where fan art was a lot more because they were making such small quantities, and you know, it cost them more. They didn't have the same deals with the factories, they didn't have the same deals with shipping companies, didn't have the same deals with probably, you know, whatever production that they're putting together there. And I mean, there's some fan art stuff out there now that's just beyond breathtaking, and it's priced.
And they're making characters you're not getting with the mainstream companies.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
So
yep. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
When I first started collecting Sideshow, like, do you guys recall this? Like, there was hardly anything that was like a big percentage off or any statues. Like, I remember my mom would go somewhere and she'd be like, "Okay, this is 30% off." And I'd, you know, like at some store, and I'd be thinking, man, I wish, like, why can't Sideshow do that? But it's like, well, they don't need to. But now it's like, I feel like, yeah, prices have gotten so high that now I always get like an email that's like, you know, 20% off this or a coupon code. And used to, when I first got into Sideshow, I swear that stuff just didn't happen. It was like they made something and then either you bought it or you didn't.
Yeah.
And specials weren't really like that. They'd have the newsletter where they'd say like they'd get 4 things in or something that was out of stock, and then I'd be watching the newsletter to be like, oh yeah, maybe something's going to come in that's out of stock. They say they found 4, like Admiral Akbar bust or something, and then everyone would sell out real fast. But like there was no, like, the newsletter didn't have like, oh, and we're having 30% off this or free shipping on that. It didn't seem as much.
Yeah.
Every October they got Spooktacular. You know, you wait. You know, they got percentages off statues and stuff.
Yeah.
You just wait for stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's all you gotta do.
You know, and I think that stuff is priced. I think it's priced too high now at this point for what it is. You know, these are all really cool pieces. We're all big fans of a lot of different genres. Everybody's into collecting in this panel, of course, but it doesn't seem worth it anymore. It's like, I can take that $1,000 and put it on, you know, something else. That's, you know, I mean, I should put that in my kid's college fund.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm trying to be realistic with like my collecting. Like, what's my end game? Am I gonna keep buying these statues, switching them out, trying to sell them? So like, if I'm trying to collect all these statues, right, and like I got all this money, and then at some point I'm gonna start selling them for a cheaper price, to buy new statues. At some point, when is enough enough? You know, when do I go, damn, like I'm losing thousands of dollars just because I'm buying these statues at like $1,500. Then after a year to come out with something better for a more expensive price, and then I'm selling this for $500 than what I got it for. At some point, where does it break? When does it end? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I mean, it's not even like a small incline. It's just like from like $425 was the first premium format I paid for, which is the Boba Fett Empire Strikes Back. And then like in like 2 years, average premium format is like $600 to $680. So I'm like, damn, like it's not even like, okay, $20 here, $20 there. It's just now it's like we're talking about what, 1,500 for a quarter scale statue. Oh man.
I guess you have to be happy with what you got.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been collecting since 2003, around there.
Yeah.
And we started with Bowen, and I still have a few of my Bowen pieces because I won't part with them. I'm really hard to part with my statues. I even had a fit when my husband got rid of a few of the mini Bowens that I had. And we actually had Hard Hero. We had Diamond Select. I still got my Diamond Select Silver Surfer because, you know, yeah, Bowen made one, but I don't like that museum pose. You know, I wanted the more dynamic pose on the board, you know, so I have my Diamond Select piece there. And I guess you just have to be happy with what you have. Like right now with my collection, I'm happy with what I have.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the stuff that I have right now, like I have 2 hawks. I have a red and a gray hawk. I don't have a green. Well, actually, I do have a green hawk, which is my the Hollywood hawk on throne that I got. I'm happy with that. I don't think I need another hawk. I mean, they come out with dozens of hawks and really good ones. But I'm actually very happy with that one. So I guess at some point you also have to be very happy with what you have and kind of say, okay, yeah, that's a very good piece, but I really do love the one I have, so I'm going to pass on, you know? It has to be one of those pieces that it's a must-have, you know? Like I have the Sideshow diorama, the one with Wolverine and Sabretooth. That was actually a piece that my husband wanted when it came out. At that time, we weren't able to afford it, you know? We used to work, you know, 9-to-5 jobs. We have 4 kids, you know, now we're a little bit better because we actually own our own company. But back then we couldn't. So now we were able to get it. So it's just some of those pieces. If it doesn't come now, it'll probably come later. But you have to be happy with what you have. And you have to be, you have to conform to what you have, you know, and not say, okay, well, I'm going to start getting rid of everything and restart all over again because you're going to end up losing money at the end of the day. Because you're never going to sell those pieces. Most of the pieces, you're not going to be able to sell them for the same amount. Only those special pieces, you'll probably get more for them. Like Thanos on Throne, you'll probably be able to make more money on it. Maybe the Ghost Rider, things like that. But other pieces, you're gonna lose.
Well,
so you have to be happy with it.
Let me just stop right there. Jay Remy in the chat said the problem is trying to sell when number one, eBay is a scammer's paradise. Number 2, there's not that many locals around to collect.
Yeah.
And number 3, hard to sell a piece that's high edition and no longer a prime piece. You mentioned that you're really happy with your Hulks. But I think a lot of collectors out there, they see something new, like, ooh, I have to have it. You know, I got to replace the old version of things. I loved it, but now I like this one way better. So it is an issue. Don't you guys feel like most collectors are like that? They're always wanting the newest, bestest thing.
Yeah,
I think it's the collector's itch, you know. But even with I never got the other Mystique from Sideshow. And I got the new one, and I totally hated it. Maybe I probably would have been happy if I had the other Mystique, you know, because it came so imperfect. You know, at this point, I still order more stuff because I still have more room to add. But at the end of the day, yeah, there might be things that might come, you know, that might come that are gonna be better. But like for instance, that Green Hawk that I have on Throne, man, I am so happy with that Green Hawk. I don't think I ever want to get another Green Hawk. With that, I'm super perfect. I just love that piece, even if you know another one comes better.
Yeah. Well, let me, we live in a day and age where everything's like a FOMO, meaning like, you know, everyone's got to have like the awesome piece. You know, internet doesn't help, Facebook doesn't help, Instagram doesn't help, social media doesn't help. So it's like when someone posts something, it's like, damn, that's an awesome looking statue. I got to get it. Damn, look at this Thor. Like this is not what I like, but I'm going to buy that one instead. And I'll try to sell this one. So I think we live in that kind of community kind of collecting world where, you know, people want to want to be, I don't know, want to get the newest or the latest thing. It's just part of just our culture now. But the thing is, my question is, is there a bubble? Is there a bubble, and is it going to burst? That's my question.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you make some valid points, but I look at it a little bit differently too, in terms of there are a lot of different companies out there now making products, and so there's a little bit of something for everybody. You've got Diamond Select was talked about. You've got DC Collectibles. You have other companies. Oh shoot, what's another? Oh, Iron Studios, who are making 110 scale pieces.
Tweeterhead.
Tweeterhead.
Yeah.
You've got Marvel Select is doing something now, so similar to the Diamond Select, and so you've got all these different pieces out there for smaller scale, more affordable, something for everyone. And then you get into something maybe middle tier, and that's where I'd say that at least Tweeterhead prices to me stay in that kind of middle tier area for a 1/6 scale piece, and they don't seem outrageously priced, and I think they're doing a good job with that. But you have those options still, and you see in Sideshow's website all of the different things that they're a distributor for now. And there's a ton of companies, I didn't even name half of them, who are out there producing things that are affordable, collectible, that really appeal to a lot of people. And you have to wonder, I mean, from a business strategy standpoint, Sideshow knows that they sold us all these amazing original pieces, the premium format for Batman and Superman and Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and all those original format pieces that we all still love. A lot of people think they're still better than the new pieces coming out, but their business, they're and I don't know this, but my guess is that their position was to get new people and allow people that didn't have those pieces, that didn't want those pieces for whatever reason, couldn't get those pieces at the time, couldn't afford those people. They were going to get new blood in terms of re-releasing or revisiting those characters, I should say. And that was new to them. So I think that they're just maybe looking for, it's like DC Comics. I mean, New 52 was all about getting new readers. They didn't give a shit about anybody else who had bought their comic books before. They already had their money. They wanted new readers. That was going to be the lifeblood of their business, is new readers. And so you almost wonder if Sideshow is doing similarly in terms of, or any other company similarly in terms of, we just need new customers. We need new customers. We need new customers. We need to attract new people. We've already got everybody else's money.
But don't you think if they're trying to attract new customers, they would want to attract them with a lower price?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine if I came into the hobby today, I would turn around and run the other way.
Yeah. Well, my wife will decapitate me instantly.
It's already bad enough telling people what I paid for the pieces I have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
always fun.
Exactly.
I mean, I think of I know I've talked to Chad from Tweeterhead, and he really believes to try to keep the price, as close to the same as possible for collectors. And I like that attitude, and it's neat to hear it from him. And so that's the kind of mentality, I think, if you're wanting new customers, you're going to attract them with a $300, $400, maybe even $500 range. But if you're coming into the hobby and you see a premium format is $1,300 or $1,400, I mean, wouldn't that scare you guys coming into the hobby?
Oh hell yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I probably never would have been able to get into it if I started there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will say when I first started, I think like a lot of us, we started with some of the smaller scale pieces. You mentioned Bowen. I started with black and white pieces from DC Collectibles for the Batman line, and those were our gateway drugs. And at the time, you look at Sideshow's pieces, and they were $429 or $450 or whatever it was for those premium formats that we paid for, $399, $429, so on and so forth. That was intimidating.
Yeah.
But then we got to a point where we bought them, right? And then I don't know that it would be any different for a new customer now if they're paying, let's say they started with Tweeterhead. That's $250, $300, and they're like, oh, you know what? Quarter scale, I can do that for $600. The new Batman's what, $585? So I don't know that it's that big of a jump when you start using the logic of where we came in and what we started with for $80 a piece to jump to $420 a piece for the premium formats, and then now you're starting at $200-300 a piece, and you're jumping up. I don't know that there's that much of a disparity between the percentages in terms of the jump. So while it looks bad to us because we've been around for a long time doing this, the percentage wise from the gap is still the same for anybody new coming into it. So they may just at some point say, hell yeah, I can do that quarter scale piece for a couple $100 more.
Yeah, for me, I used to collect Hot Toys, and that was one thing that made me want to collect statues, because I saw Hot Toys prices going up, and I was like, well, just like what you said, for a couple $100 more, I could just get statues, and I sold my Hot Toys collection, which funded my first few statues. So I definitely agree with you there.
Well, I do want to say, some people are mentioning in the chat that there's still some decent prices on premium formats out there. I mean, you can still get a fairly good deal. Yes, it is more expensive than it was a few years ago. And like, Dan 14th Prime said that Juggernaut is the exception on this, here lately. Do you think that, we talked, like I said, I talked about this a year ago about the bubble, are we there yet? Are we all priced out? And do you think that the people really are buying less, and maybe that's why Sideshow or other companies are increasing their prices so much, is to offset that loss? Like if 10 people used to collect and now only 5 do, they know that those 5 people are still going to collect, so they'll raise the prices because they know that those people will pay those. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't think so.
I mean, because there's always going to be new people coming in. So
yeah,
that's a good point.
Their money's not an object for them. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know, to be honest. I don't know where they get their pricing from, their graph or whatever, their scale. It seems like up and down. It's 1 minute they're pricing a statue at a fair price, and the next minute it's like up. That Thor, Breaker Brimstone, it was like $680, and then you see an Alien Mythos maquette for like $1,000. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's like once this and once that. I don't know. I'm just confused how they're doing their pricing.
I think they maybe with the Juggernaut, it could be that maybe so many people have asked for it, and it's just one of those characters that hasn't been really done that often, that I think that that's the reason why they priced it so high. They say, okay, well, we have a lot of feedback from people wanting this statue. Let's price it at this price, and we're sure it's going to sell out because people will buy it, because it's right now the only thing trending. Everybody wants a Juggernaut, and there's not many pieces out there.
Yeah, but I don't know how true that is, because look at the Punisher they showed at NYCC. It was the same, mass popularity and people asking about it, and the price was reasonable on that. So I thought it was going to be, like $650 or something, but turned out pretty good. So.
Well, then people always, they compare the sizes. Like I've got Bane back here, and he was like what, $700-800? I can't remember exactly how much he was, but he's actually, I think, a bigger piece than Juggernaut will be. And that price has doubled, in a year and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I know that just put off so many collectors, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at Thanos and the throne, right? If you actually look at that piece, that's actually 2 statues. I mean. The throne piece is 1 statue, and Thanos is another statue. Now, Juggernaut it looks like just 1 big piece, like 1 big solid piece. But that's it. Like what we have Kitty Pryde coming out of the floor, trying to, I don't know, falling down or trying to reach for Juggernaut. But yeah, it's not like an intricate piece,
You look at the Thanos on Throne 2, it also had a light up feature in the gauntlet. It had a switch out head. So you're getting a little bit more, and the popularity of that character was, super hyped up because of the movies and stuff. So I think even then, like, people thought that they were pushing out $1,200, and.
But I think as long as they have a payment plan, is people will always buy into it, because you're not actually shoveling out $1,200 all at once. You know what I mean? You got these monthly increments. And then I think for all of us here that started collecting, it was like a mental barrier you had to break down to spend $500 on a piece. You know what I mean? I've studied this stuff, like far as people collecting, it's always one piece that draws you in. And then once you do that and you see other things, and then okay, I'm gonna try this, and then you get it and it's amazing. Then like that mental barriers, bro. Then it's like you want everything. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. And then you end up with some stuff you don't want, and you sell that stuff off. Then you kind of hit your sweet spot. And you say, okay, I'm just gonna collect this. And then that's when you hit your stride, and that's when you really get to your best collecting, when you just collecting what you love. Once you done got through all that, it's just like anything, being young and doing wild stuff. Then you get married, then you're good. So,
what are you talking about? Being good after marriage?
You know what I mean.
That monthly payment on the Juggernaut, that's kind of harsh because it's
Well, yeah, if you come in on the Juggernaut, then you might be on the way to Vegas.
They didn't really help us with that release date of like what, 5 months. I mean, we're talking about $250. If people are complaining on a $600 statue, imagine having to ditch out $250 for the next. That's a car payment.
Yeah. And that's crazy too. They made it 5 months. So that was kind of special.
That's a car note.
Yeah.
I mean, can you guys think of the last time they did that with such a short production?
The last time I remember pre-ordering something, and then next it was like right there was the Hulk versus Wolverine. I remember pre-ordering that during the summertime or like around September, October. I'm like, I'm good. I got like a couple months to pay it off. Next Hulk versus Wolverine shipping in January, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I started working the strip clubs. Then I was good after that.
The Iron Studio Hawkman says that it's supposed to be shipping in
Jason
December.
Bond.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Jeremy, say that again.
I said the Hawkman, that 1/3 Hawkman that they just
was that Jason
on
Bond
Sideshow.
We see
They said it's supposed to be shipping in December.
Oh, this summer already?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty quick, especially for the size of him. But they're saying that November, December is when it's estimated for him to be shipping.
Wow,
I mean,
But
that's
Iron
not.
Studio, I was gonna say Iron Studios is notorious for delays, man.
No, I
Yeah.
understand that, but
Yeah.
that's why I thought that was pretty ambitious if they would already have him.
Yeah.
It'll be
saying
about
that it's gonna
7
be ready
months
by the
later
end
than
of the
that.
Yeah, probably. How
Yeah.
long was it until you got your Black Batman?
Oh, that thing was delayed 7. That thing might have been delayed 10 months. I mean, it was a pretty intense delay. Yeah, I want to say it was a good between 7 and 10 months. I don't remember exactly because once you get it, then all that sort of is forgiven, right? But yeah, it was a long delay. And you know what? I think Iron Studios does something really smart to help keep those prices down on those 1/3s, right? So they're $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to buy the open wing and the closed wing version, I think it's $1,400. Still less than the Juggernaut maquette, right?
Yeah.
But
what you're getting.
they're using it's either PVC or fiberglass or whatever, probably for those wings. So that keeps the price down. And from my opinion, like, who gives a shit if it's plastic? It looks cool as hell.
As long as it looks good.
The Superman cape that they have on their Superman piece is plastic. The Batman cape is plastic. But they have great detail in those molds. It's a high quality product. You don't have to worry about chippage, breakage. Cheaper to ship. Looks cool as hell. I think it's actually a pretty smart thing.
Yeah, the tape on my beta is also, it's like a plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'll show you Mr. Freeze real quick here. And I do want to say hello to Steven from Whiplash Collectors, just joined us. Hi, Steven. Welcome.
Hey, Steven.
Hey,
hello.
hi.
Hey,
Hi, everyone.
Glad you can be on first time on Rogues Gallery. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm honored.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Well, we're just talking about some of these pieces and the shipping costs and the amount of money. So I want to show you this. This is my new Prime 1 Mr. Freeze. I'll just take the small one off. So this is a piece of the ice. Okay, so this is plastic. It's heavy. I mean, it's solid. I don't think it's. There might be some elements of polystone to it, but I don't mind. Like if this was, if this made it 100 pounds heavier, I mean, imagine the shipping costs. So that doesn't bother me. Just like Lawrence said, as long as it's well done. Like this is beautiful. The way it captures the light, it doesn't do it justice on this camera. But I don't know. Do you guys care if there's plastic pieces on your statues?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
I have the Punisher and Iron Studios Punisher. There's plastic pieces, but it made sense to put those plastic pieces because if they didn't, I think I'll be asking for a replacement every single time because of that trying to put the switch out the guns in. So
I think where people got pissed off, it was the the Swamp Thing. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Where the whole body was made of PVC or whatever. And so I feel like collectors care if the body is made of that, but if the elements are, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, the Sideshow Skeletor, which is one of their really great pieces, it has a decent amount of plastic elements in it with like some of the armor and stuff, which made sense for those pieces because those would have been very brittle and easy to break, and they probably would have ended up with a ton of those broken had they just made those out of polystone and shipped them out. I think too, you can sort of see it. I know you, Chris, got lucky with the Hush, but another collector that we all know who's got a channel now, Danny Joyce over in Australia, who's doing a YouTube show now. He was reviewing the Batman Hush, and he had a chip on his cape. Yep. And so, it's one of those things that obviously that cape's awesome. It's spectacular. It's really cool that it is polystone, I guess, but when you think about it, is it necessary? Does that add any additional value to the customer at the end of the day? Maybe resale value if you're into that sort of thing. But I know my Iron Studios piece with that plastic cape, I don't feel any less love for it than I would, since that cape's plastic versus polystone.
Yeah.
And it looks great. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now,
Chris, quick
can
question.
you guys hear me?
That freeze.
Yes.
Okay. I was just looking because I thought I had read the Juggernaut is made out of poly resin. So that's not polystone. So what is the poly resin like a PVC?
No, I think it's probably similar. There may just be different elements of what they use to mix it, but I think it's still
Yeah, I still think it's stone. It's still
Its
stone.
weight is like
resin
40
and polystone are
pounds,
both.
so I would
Resin
have
and
thought it
poly-
would have been heavier than that.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I don't know.
Chris, I think Steven was going to ask you something.
Yeah, Steven, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you said the ice on freeze is made of plastic, that's a surprise. I always thought that was translucent resin. So
Well, maybe it is. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's what Aiton was saying, that it's a clear resin.
Okay. Well, then never mind. It's not plastic. Never mind, guys. I bet you're exactly right. I bet that's what that is.
But it's not heavier.
You're saying it's light.
I mean, it's
Or is that
yeah.
what
I mean,
you're
it's
saying, Chris?
yeah. I mean, it's pretty. Here's another little piece. Yeah, I mean, it's light, but I think you're right. I think it is a resin. I mean, can you guys here, click?
Yeah.
It's
probably hollow.
Yeah, it's hollow
to get the clear effect.
I mean, yeah, it's all hollow, but it's like obviously painted inside. But then you get like the magnet down here in this area, and then this bottom part is heavy. So like I kind of wonder if they like maybe filled it with polystone and then it goes into the resin. But I mean, it's incredibly well done. But it is a lightweight, and that's which I appreciate again for shipping. But I think it's really well done. But I bet you're right. I bet it's poly resin.
Yeah, that's just my guess.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The only way to find out is to break it open, which I definitely don't want you to do that. But,
no chance.
I want you to.
I've only had about an hour with this guy, so I've got a lot of time to spend with him still.
Yeah. But I mean, I was gonna ask the panel is there like an end game for you guys? Like, is there gonna be like when you look at your collection, you're like, man, that's it. I'm good. No matter what they release.
Reached it. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
I reached it. I mean, I've got the Pop Culture Shock quarter scale He-Man coming, and like that's it. no, by and large, that's due to space and to Barbara's point earlier. At some point, you just have to be happy with what you have, and I'm not the guy that's going to resell anything. I think when I made a commitment when I bought the pieces that I was not interested in doing any resale. Just again, and some of the resale stuff, partly because I loved the piece when I bought it. I still love the piece. Also, partly because I don't want to deal with the hassle of selling a piece, boxing it up, shipping it out. Losing money on it potentially. Not really interested in doing that. I enjoyed what I collected and always intended to keep it. So, yeah, I'm good. Like it comes down to space for me. So I've got this one room and that's about it. And I'm out of space. So there's a few little things I can do to tinker here and there, but otherwise I'm happy, man. I'm good to go.
So if they release like Tila the next like couple days,
Yep.
I mean like Tila, you wouldn't pick up Tila.
I would not. Nope. I could probably keep it to the main. Not that Tila's not a main character. Of course, Tila's a main character, but He-Man and Skeletor I really felt like that's all I needed. So, I mean, there's a fan art out there doing some Skeletor and He-Man pieces now, and those are fantastic. And it really makes me second guess my decision to be good. But at the same time, those pieces that they're doing are third scale, and they're huge. And so there's no way I could fit them.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, Lawrence. I have He-Man and Skeletor, and every time like I look at other pieces, like I got Orko too, but I'm like looking at like Evil Lyn or anything like that. If they release more characters out of the line, I'm good. Like I don't need to see another He-Man. I don't need to see another Skeletor. I think the ones I have are perfect.
Right.
So I'm with you in terms of like I see where your point is. Like you're good, and I hope to reach that point too. I have a couple more things that I want to have in my collection. Juggernaut. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm done. I'm out. But yeah, I really want that Juggernaut. Depending
you got to get that Juggernaut so you can sell it to a Tim.
Yeah. I mean, I want to collect a Tim is like literally like hawking over.
It's coming.
It's coming. You better believe it.
Yeah.
He's hawking over my house right now. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple more pieces that I need to collect, like an Emperor Palpatine. Like
bingo, there you go.
If I had
one piece away, that's the one piece away I need.
I see him in the bottom left, right there for you, Thor. I mean, like the back, yeah. I think a couple more pieces, and I should be done.
I think what pulls me in, and I don't know. I really appreciate different interpretations of the same character. And when I say that, I don't mean like I'm not going to run out and get the new premium formats, because I already have the Batman premium format that was the original, and also the modern version that's blue. So I'm not going to run out and get another premium format Batman. They're fantastic, but I kind of went a different direction with that and said I would like the large scale Batman, one from each main distributor. And that's kind of where I'm at with like He-Man and Skeletor. I love He-Man and Skeletor just as much as I love Batman. If I were to do something, it would be more likely that I'd be more willing to purchase a He-Man and Skeletor from a different company that had a different interpretation about how they would look and how that would sit on a shelf. And I'm more interested in that personally than just filling out a huge line of all of the characters.
Yeah. I just want to.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just a real quick question. I just want to know, like, what's the next generation of collectors are going to collect after us? You know what I'm saying? That's just my curiosity. If Sideshow wants to be in the business for years to come, what's their target audience after we're done collecting? Or, when I'm 60 years old and I'm like, can't even collect anymore or put a statue together because my wrists are so weak.
I think for the next generation would be gaming pieces. I mean, the new generation is so into gaming right now. I think that would be something that the next generation might be into. We're into the comics because we grew up with the cartoons, and we didn't really grow up with this technology that we have now. So I think for the next generation would be maybe the target.
Honestly, I think that movie pieces are gonna really gain popularity for the next generation because all these Marvel movies, DC movies, and things like that that people are kids or teenagers now. When they get to our age and they're able to collect, that's the stuff that's going to be nostalgic to them. So.
Yeah, but I don't think the new generation is too into. I mean, yeah, they watch the movies, but I don't think they're as much into it as we are.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a 19-year-old, I have a 15-year-old, a 14, and a 10. And out of four of my kids, my 19-year-old has no interest in anything that has to do with comic books. He doesn't. And my 15-year-old, he does because he likes collecting with us. But only one out of my four kids are really into. Well, actually, my daughter's into it a little bit.
But do you think that has to do with the fact that you guys collect and it's your sometimes you don't want to do what your parents do, or sometimes you think what your parents do is weird. So, I mean that's just how it is. Like growing up, like. Sometimes stuff that my dad was into, like I never was into, and then like, I just got into my own stuff. You want to kind of make your own path, be your own person. So
I I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I definitely think that the reason why like my second oldest is into it is because we're into it. So, but I don't really think right now the new generation is, they come up with the movies, but I mean, besides us, how many parents do really take up their children to go out, getting comics and, and doing the stuff that we do now? I don't, unless unless it's us ourselves taking the kids, I don't really see other parents getting their kids into that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't know if they're going to collect anything.
I work with young kids, and I don't see that same, or even my own kids. I just don't see that same passion to want to collect stuff.
Exactly.
It's more media. Like they want to consume media. They want to consume. I mean, like you're talking about collectibles. I could see them wanting to collect YouTube stars. That's all they care about. And like, I just don't see them wanting the stuff.
Because I don't think parents are the ones that are introducing them to these things, because we're the generation that didn't grow up with all this technology. So that was our thing back then, the comics, the cartoon, the Saturday morning cartoons, which was Batman, you had X-Men, Spider-Man, all that stuff. So we definitely grew up into this. My kids, they don't watch cartoons, they play video games. That's their thing.
And I think how great all that stuff in the 80s was, like all the media that we got. And you don't see any of it now. I mean, it's all fluff, in my opinion. I just don't think it's good at all.
Yeah.
So,
well, not only the media,
inspired by it.
Yeah, not only the media and the technology, but just think about toys. I mean, when we were growing up, look at I think a lot of our collecting comes from nostalgia that we had when we were kids. I mean, whether you were old enough to probably do like G.I. Joes and some of the earlier toys that Mattel and Kenner and some of those put out, the Superpowers collection, but then look at what happened in 1982 with Masters of the Universe, right? So that's why that's super nostalgic for people. And then you get into the early 90s and you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you got Transformers, you got all these different things that we collected when we were young kids that became very, all of these statues behind us are just big ass action figures that don't move.
Yeah.
Right. So it was just really a sort of a nostalgic thing, I think, for us. And I don't know that the generation now has that same level of nostalgia in terms of toys.
Yeah.
Like you said, they don't do stuff; they do media. So we didn't have media back then. Fire up the.
Where our toys are all electronic.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, you could probably find a few posable figurines, for like, let's say X-Men and stuff like that. But everything you find, it's either has a push button or has something like something that talks to you or something you have to interact with. I mean, every single toy at the toy store is like that, and it's a little bit annoying because they're interacting with like a computer per se. It's not like how it was before where you would play and like play the role, with the actual figurine. It's not like that anymore.
Well, and it's no coincidence that there's no toy stores anymore.
Well, true.
I mean, look, there's no toy stores. Those don't exist. So Toys R Us is gone, and any other KB toys, and there's all these other toy stores that used to exist as big chains and making billions of dollars from action figures. That pretty much is done. I mean, you can get an action figure from anywhere, and they're just not as collectible as to what they used to be, and kids don't play with them at the same. I think they play with them a little younger, and then they drop them as soon as they can pick up a tablet or a video game control. To your point, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, I think Legos is probably one of the only ones that survived the longest.
Yeah, and they're doing very well still. The price of a brick of Lego is still more than the price of gold right now. Like the collection itself, it's amazing how popular Lego still is.
Yeah. But going back to like, what we're talking about, like, like the next generation is, doing technology and video games and things like that. Don't you want to, doesn't like Sideshow and other companies want to hold on to their collectors that's collecting now and not outprice them? You know what I'm saying? Like, because what's next in line? Like, after us, it's not going to be a lot of collectors unless like they decide to, like, what Barbara said, make video game statues. But like I think Barb or Chris said it, they're not into collecting. My son's not into collecting. He's into playing video games and watching YouTube or collecting V-Bucks on.
How old is your son, PJ?
I have a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old, and my youngest loves Spider-Man. So he's the only one out of my 3 sons that love superheroes and loves comic books. So my oldest one, I'm sorry.
Think about it though. No, I mean just think about it though. I mean what you said. I mean Sideshow will have to, and XM and Prime One and any other of these companies who are making these types of collectibles will have to evolve or go extinct. I mean, the Blockbuster Video, right?
Yeah.
Blockbuster Video refused to evolve. They didn't want to go digital media. Netflix came in, disrupted their marketplace, and Blockbuster, 10 years later is gone. And so Sideshow will either find a way to evolve, or XM will find a way to evolve, or Prime One will find a way to evolve, and they'll do something that will drastically disrupt their market, and they will survive, or they won't evolve if collecting habits change, and they will go away.
But do you think they're already trying to do that? Like, they just started up their brand new Unruly Industries, where it's kind of more of a pop culture-y type look, Have you guys seen those?
Yeah. I agree with you. I think they're doing a nice job of evolving.
Yeah, I think those are really cool, and I could see maybe that reaching a younger crowd that's more into the pops and things like that. And I know there's a lot of adult collectors that collect pops too, clearly, but I do think that they are trying to branch out here and there, and some of those pieces do offset the cost of the big giant ones as well. So I think they are trying to cater to a lot of different kinds of collectors. But it really will be interesting in the future to see, what happens to the collecting industry, because if the prices, I mean, if we fast forward to 2 years from now, and a premium format is $2,000, let's just say a maquette, let's call it still a maquette. What's going to happen to the industry? What's going to happen? I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see my kids and I try to get them into collecting. I would try to buy them a pop, but they open it, they look at it, and they put it down, and they go back to video games. That's what I see. That's why I don't see I don't see a future in collecting. That's why I'm saying, like, why speed up the process of pricing us out? Why don't you just do it at a gradual pace, and then we can still end up collecting as long as we can? Not like, damn, $600 for Thor, and then $1,400 for Juggernaut. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Actually, in Asia Pac, I'm not sure if this is what you guys see over there in US, but a lot of the youngsters and teenagers are still really into anime pieces, like the Dragon Ball and the One Piece and all that. So when I go to the toy shops and the figure shops and the hot toys here in Hong Kong, I still see a lot of younger guys, buying a lot of those anime figures and anime statues. Obviously, space here in Hong Kong is very critical, so they probably just buy like 1/10 or 1/5. But anime is still booming here in Asia Pac.
I think that would be something my oldest would collect. My 19-year-old, he's not really into the whole X-Men thing like we are, but he does watch anime a lot. I actually pay for his subscription to, I don't know, something called something.
Crunchyroll, yeah.
Crunchyroll. Yeah, he's like, Mom, can you pay for my monthly subscription? Because he just, that's his thing, either video games or anime. That's all he cares about. So maybe that might be something you might, maybe that, because right now they're children, so they're not really that, they don't have that nostalgia like you guys are saying. Maybe when they get older to our age and they have kids, they'll say, okay, well, this is something that's bringing back memories to when I was young. So I see probably him collecting something like that. But my 15-year-old does collect pops. And he's very good at special
There's
statues.
plenty of anime statues, plenty of them.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
Oh.
I haven't listened to anything, but he might like that.
Yeah, they're popping up like left and right anime statues. So
Absolutely. Well, I have a question for Steven. Before we do, there was 100 people just a little bit ago watching. I'm going to ask if you give the video a thumbs up. That does help the channel. So thank you guys for watching tonight again. And I do want to put Steven on the spot. So Prime 1 with this piece, the 0 year, you saw the price, $1,600 for the exclusive. Does that shock you? You're a Prime 1 guy. You enjoy Prime 1 like I do. What's your response to that price? And you've seen that piece in person.
Well, first of all, one thing that really surprised me was that in the website, Prime 1 said it's 1/3, because I saw with my own eyes that it looks like a 1/4. It looks like a 1/4. I could be wrong. And that's only the prototype, which I saw and which you guys also saw. So I really don't know. But yeah, for that price, sorry, Chris, what was it again?
$1,600 for the
1,600. Yeah, that's a hefty price to stomach, for sure.
Well, do you think
because
Prime 1 doesn't have? Do they have the 1/4? They have the 1/4 license for New 52, right? But do they have it for any other pieces? Do you think that's why they're calling it 1/3? Because maybe
I don't know. Maybe the production piece will be bigger. We don't know. Right?
I did.
But from what I saw, and I remember the size of the G.I. Joe Storm Shadow, that was 1/4. It looks similar in size.
yeah,
Well, there's tons of photos out there that have the Bermejo Batman, and then it was 0 year between that one, and then there was the 1/5 scale Arkham City or Batman Incorporated, and clearly it was between those two sizes.
Yeah.
So I did reach out to John and just to see if he could give me some clarity. I haven't heard back from him yet, but it'll be interesting to see that because again, the price really caught a lot of collectors off guard.
Yeah. Well, probably the only reason that I can think of, and this could be a very crazy reason, is well, first of all, I have no knowledge about Batman 0 year. I haven't read that comic line, but in that comic line, Batman or Bruce Wayne is a very young Bruce Wayne, so he could still be small size. He could still be growing up, and hence the smaller figure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people have said, maybe the price is because of, how intricate the motorcycle itself was, and those type of things. And it gets me kind of back to another point about why companies might be raising their prices. Do you guys think that maybe the factories are charging them more and kind of, have them by the balls, I guess you could say, is because they're the only ones making these statues in the world for the most part, So do you think that factories are charging these companies more, and that's one reason maybe they're having to raise their prices a bit?
I think with it getting more and more popular, since I've been in it, there would end up being more factories, and even more factories that are even more professional, and then they would have to kind of compete. Maybe is too strong of a word, but you think that would kind of level out a little bit too. But I don't know. I don't know how many factories.
I kind of think it's probably getting less competitive with factories because don't you think that some companies are firing factories because the pieces they're producing don't come out, the way that they were supposed to? Because look at that Mystique that came out, whatever factory did that, Sideshow probably not going to use them again.
Yeah, I have heard stories about that, where that factory wasn't producing very well, or they had to send, representatives there to try to fix things, and I don't know. I mean, I know Tweeterhead has had that issue where they sent stuff out, or they were going to send stuff out, and it just wasn't up to snuff, and so then they had to go and switch factories. So that, I'm sure that stuff happens more than we maybe know.
Every time I think about those factories, I think of Steve Buscemi and like that cross-eyed. Someone always puts that GIF, or like the eyes like being spread out like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
That's who's doing our QC. QC manager.
I kind of have a theory. I'm going to compare it to, I live in Dallas, and the houses have gone up expensive, and when they're building new houses, the developers, they're building houses that are $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and then someone will sell their old $180,000, $200,000 house, and it would sell like that. But then some of these others, the new ones, that they're not selling as fast. I mean, there's not everyone around me is needing a $300,000 house. I'm not. But the developers, when they buy they only have so much land, so they don't want to sell. They don't want to build little houses and sell them. They want to build, they want to use that land to make this most money as possible. And I think, well, maybe that's the way it is. They know us collectors have so much space, and so they're going to try to, for that space that we're going to buy a statue, they're going to try to get as much as they think that we're going to pay for it, because eventually we're going to have to sell those, or we're going to be like, well, now we're out of room. Mm-hmm. And so maybe I've always heard though that Sideshow always is selling not to people like me or us, but more to people buying one-off statues. I've heard that, but I have trouble believing that, because most people I tell, like we've talked about earlier, most people they faint if I tell them what I pay for these. So I can't. I find it always hard to believe that Sideshow's selling to just someone buying one or two statues here and there, because you kind of have to get into that addiction. To me,
yeah. Once you get the statue in hand, it's going to make you want more. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
I'm running out of excuses, guys, for my wife. Don't worry, babe. I did 50 hours overtime this week. Whew. He's gonna pay for that statue. But
PJ, you talked about endgame. I think about my endgame and where I'm at. Like, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's space, it's money. But I'm also, a collector channel, so I want to make sure I keep putting good content out there for all of you guys. So I feel like I still need to get pieces, but if I actually think about space, I probably have room for maybe 8 or 9 pieces left, and then I'm out of room completely.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, why speed up the process and try to price this out? Just hold on to us as long as you can. Don't,
Yeah, remember, man, it's a business.
Yeah, it's a business. I totally agree, but I don't know.
You're gonna have no customers eventually.
Yeah, they're not gonna have that many.
Maybe they're to a point now with like the Juggernaut price, right? Maybe they don't care if they sell it out right away. You know what I mean? They don't need the money right away, but they know eventually it'll sell out. So
yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. That's a good point.
If they can eventually sell it out at that price, they're gonna make more money. All they gotta do is be a little more patient.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What if this was a scenario? What if there was no, and this is kind of controversial, there was no payment plans? It was only you had to pay right. I know a guy that used to sell cars, and he was like, when they came in, they didn't care about the price of the car. They cared about how much they had to pay a month. And so that is obviously, that kind of thing is always going to make prices higher. So imagine if there was no payment plans, and then would that make the price, like people can't just be like, oh, I hopefully by the time that comes out, I'll have the money and I don't care that it actually costs that much, or I'm only having to pay this much a month. Now imagine there was no payment plans, and the price wasn't as much.
I think it'd be game over. I don't think people would do it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people wouldn't, because think about it, like you have to have some discipline with your money at that point to make the monthly payments to yourself, to put the money aside, or else you're just not going to have the money when it comes and you're going to have to cancel.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. And in turn, like, I know this would never, but the companies would be like, oh, no, now we're not selling as much because people aren't so ready to be like, oh, good, I get a payment plan. We got to, yeah, they would never happen. I mean, yeah. Sideshow would never do that. But that's what I like about PCS, when you could pay up front and get a discount. you could pay. Remember PCS when you could order direct from them? If you were willing to pay all of it up front, you got a discount. And I did that. A couple times.
Oh wow! I wish Sideshow would do that.
Yeah.
I think XM has the same thing, right?
Who?
XM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hate when it's like last payment's about to come out and then they postpone it because of a delay or something. And you're like, well, I had the money, like just take it.
And I use payment plans. I've used payments. I've got it where I got out of control with payment plans where I had like five a month. But so I definitely. But that's how I got out of control because it's like you got to manage that too. It's easy to be like, oh, I can buy that one and that one, and then you're like, oh, now I'm trying to keep up with payment plans.
But interesting scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta learn. Then you gotta learn how to use Microsoft Excel.
Yeah.
And, make a spreadsheet.
Statue yoga, my friend.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, you guys, I think we talked about that pretty good tonight. Do you guys want to do pictures real quick and then we'll wrap it up?
Sure.
All right. So I want to do a little differently tonight. Since some of the pieces that we're going to look at, we've been off for a couple of weeks, so some of these photos are a little bit older. But what I want to do I want to pretend like these were free. They didn't cost anything. I just want to know whether you would want it or not want it. Okay.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Let me see if I can get this going here.
The perfect world scenario.
Perfect world.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I'll take that for free. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll take anything for free.
Yeah. All right. Can you guys see the pictures okay?
Yeah.
All right, so this was the first one. This was the Sideshow Batman the Animated Series Harley Quinn with Bud and Lou. What do you guys think of this one? Would you take this one?
Yes.
I like that one.
This is the princess's first piece. She pre-ordered. Definitely, I take this one.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one so far for any animated series.
Wait, say, Chris?
Oh, I said you have definitely converted her. That's for sure.
Oh yes, her journey to the dark side is almost complete.
All right, let's move on to let's do Hawkman. Look at this. I think this is going to be a resounding yes.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Closed wings only for me.
Well, yeah, I really like the closed wings better. Also.
Yeah, I like the closed wings better too.
I like the open. I got it to where I got both wings though.
You got both wings? Nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, congrats.
That's
I can't
cool.
wait for the review, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
See it. Just look at the detail here, guys. It's just amazing what they've done.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
I mean, I really think it's one of the best statues that I've seen in the last couple of years. I think it's.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want it.
I don't know anything other than I had Hawkman as an action figure when I was a kid, Superpowers line. But I know nothing about Hawkman. But this makes me want to know more about him.
Yeah, I agree.
Really incredible.
Now, if Sideshow did an angel like this with like an option for spread out wings, I'll be on that like white on rice or black.
I have the 150 angel. I think I'm happy with that. I don't think I need a quarter.
If they release a quarter scale, you wouldn't want to pick it up, Barb?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I like my 150. It actually blends in pretty well with the quarter scales I got. To be honest.
How about it was an archangel?
Huh?
Oh, how about it was an archangel, like an archangel?
She got him too.
You got him too?
Come on, man. You think you messing with the amateur?
Damn. Oh, snap. Damn, you're good. You're good. You're right.
I would like another archangel, but I actually like that one a lot. That salt and pepper one, that's a keeper for me. I wouldn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I would definitely go for another one.
All right. Would you take it or not?
For free?
Why not?
Yes, I want it. But all right, let me ask you guys. So the rumor is that this is like a borderline 1/5 scale statue. What do you guys think?
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah, I think it's a little undersized for what I was expecting.
I think it's undersized.
I mean, did you want
Did they have?
him to be Bane size? I mean, that size of statue. Is that what you
I
guys
thought he
were?
was gonna. I thought honestly, I thought he was gonna be like the biggest 1/4 that Sideshows ever
I
released,
heard
pretty
this
much.
thing is like 23 inches deep.
Yeah, that's
There it is
the,
right there.
that's the way I was gonna say. It's 23 inches deep. So I think most of his height is because he's kind of like bending down and crouching and running. So he's not like standing straight up.
Yeah, but I
23 inches deep, man.
It's all the way up to his. It's all the way up to his hand that's up in the air though. That height.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Bart. What you saying?
I think he should have been around 31, 32 for a quarter scale, even with the arm.
With the arms, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's the which is what I tried to compare it to. There's the custom one, and the custom one is 26, and it's crouched down. So and he's only 27 because he's got that arm lifted up. So I think he should have been around 31.
31. Okay.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
this sideshow piece, how comic accurate is this Juggernaut? Because I think I read somewhere that that some collectors feel the head should be a bit bigger in order to be comic accurate. I don't know.
I thought it looked good.
I need to ask the experts.
Where's the Tim? Where's the Tim when you need him?
Yeah.
Where the hell is that Tim? Where is he? He went to sleep.
He went to bed.
Sure.
Because there are a couple of other Juggernauts, like the fan art pieces, which have the head a bit bigger. So I don't know. Someone
Well, and
please
you know,
educate me.
Sideshow always kind of does their own interpretation of the pieces. You know, a lot of times they are not 100% exactly like you would find in a comic. So maybe that was their thinking with that piece. But I would agree. I don't know anything about this character. He's really cool looking. I think he's awesome. But I agree. I think I've seen him more often with a little bit bigger dome. But again, PJ, you're more into it than I am.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the comic accuracy of it. I mean, like I said, Tim probably tell you, you know, what's missing with him. But I like it. I like the statue. I'm debating on getting this statue because it's just so expensive. If it was like $1,200, I think it would have been like a no-brainer. But you know, it's $1,400. I don't know how much the shipping's going to be. Hopefully, Sideshow, if you're listening, if you could offer that same kind of special shipping like you did with Venom, Prime 1 Venom, you know, I'd be very happy. But I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know though. I doubt that this Juggernaut's gonna be heavier than Prime 1 Venom, or just as heavy even.
Yeah.
I think he'll be as heavy as Bane.
Yeah. How many pounds was Bane, Chris?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, the base is really heavy. The base is a lot bigger than this one. But Juggernaut's not as big as Bane, so I don't know. I mean, but it was a heavy piece. It's one of my heaviest. I mean, it is my heaviest premium format by far.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Well, it says that the product size on their website is going to be 40 pounds.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's definitely not as big as Venom.
about-
Venom was like what, 80?
It's probably almost 20 pounds lighter than Venom.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
how much
you-
wasn't Venom like 80?
Yeah.
Okay, he's at least 60. I'll say he's at least 60. I don't know.
Yeah, at least
what
60.
exactly.
At least 60. I thought my Thanos is pretty heavy. I actually threw my back out with Thanos. For real. I think I was telling the guys in the chat. I was like, "Yo, guys, I threw out my back." I had to go to the massage places in the mall, like to get massaged out.
Oh, the one that like Kraft went to.
I'm about to say, don't go to Robert Kraft massage parlor.
No, not Rob Kraftman. The ones that's on the stool in the middle of the mall where your ass crack is hanging out whenever you're getting a massage. Yeah, I hate that because
Oh man,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know.
Yeah.
PJ, before you do your pole dancing, you need to stretch, dude.
I know, man. I'm telling
They
you.
don't wanna
taught you nothing.
You want to
No.
pull a muscle?
No, it was after my shift. That's why I pulled him.
It was after.
You got to stretch before and after. Okay.
Before and after. I'll keep that in mind for Juggernaut.
What do you guys think of this Kitty Pride here? What do you think of the exclusive?
I don't get it.
Weak.
Yeah.
Apparently, the only reference to that is the X-Men 3 movie.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't like that movie. So,
I mean, it's cool that you could kind of like float her around your collection, so you could kind of be like, "Hey, surprise!" You know.
Someone said I saw a post. Someone said that it reminded them of the Mortal Kombat guy that goes tasty.
Yeah, I'm gonna start floating this around like my house, man. Put it like in my bathroom or something, like the toilet. Surprise!
Like where's Kitty? Type of
Yeah. Oh, that could get dirty real fast.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this guy, Lobo.
No.
Yeah.
not even for free.
Not even for
Not
Pat.
even for free.
Not Guitar Hero playing Lobo. I'm sorry.
If I knew somebody that was a hardcore Lobo fan, I still wouldn't take it for free to give it to them because I just feel like it's that bad of a piece.
Yeah.
I do like the head sculpts. I know I'm kind of in the minority, but I do like the head sculpts on this.
I'm not a fan of the exclusive head sculpt. I feel like he's got like bleeding gums or something. Like, what's up with his gums? Like, so retracted like that. Is he like
gingivitis, man?
Yeah, is he like no? Is he really like that? Have that much gums in his mouth in the comic books? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
After seeing the Prime 1/3 piece, I mean, this is a no-brainer for me. It's definitely
that's
Prime
true.
1 wins.
The Prime 1 is a no-brainer.
The Prime 1 is amazing.
Yeah.
But even the original is better than this one. I have the OG, and I would never.
I'd
even
take the
trade
original
them
for
this
free.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the original for free too.
Yeah, it's a cool.
To me, those bullet effects, like with the coming out the gun. I don't know. It just looks bad. It should have been done in translucent resin.
Does it seem like too cartoony, kind of?
Yeah,
sure.
Maybe
And
it's
with all the color buttons on the gun, just makes it look like Guitar Hero, like everyone was saying. And
yeah. I think if the gun keys weren't colored, I think maybe it would look a little better. But
then the base too. The base looks very cartoony, kind of like a Rick and Morty cartoon or something.
yeah,
But why are there so many Lobos coming out right now?
must be selling well. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know he was that popular of a character.
What makes you think?
What, free?
But yeah, this is and XM's doing one.
There's
XM,
The
and
XM
Iron
one's
Studios.
better than this one.
Iron Studios too. Yeah.
So every company is doing them. So clearly, there's money to be made with this guy, but I don't get it.
I
Makes you
kind
wonder
of like
if
the color. Go ahead.
He's a fairly popular character.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it makes you wonder if Sideshow was just sitting in the background, like, oh look, all these other companies are releasing Lobo, and people are paying, this high price for our original one. Let's just go ahead and release another one.
Yeah.
I wish somebody got this and maybe did a repaint on it. If it would look nice.
I don't know.
I like the colored keys. They make me happy. I do kind of like it. The colored keys.
I think you want some soft serve ice cream.
Here's what this was kind of a surprise. This is from
What the hell?
Years, yeah. This was unveiled not too long ago, and it's kind of the companion piece to that big Bowser they did. I think it's pretty cool.
I actually kind of like this piece. Yeah.
Yeah, how much is it?
I think it's like 400.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, their stuff isn't too bad priced, really. I mean, their Bowser was so cool. I mean, if I collected video game stuff, this would be on my top of my list. I think him and Bowser.
Is this like in scale with Bowser?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't get a picture of that, but yeah, he's a little bit smaller than Bowser, clearly, but it's in scale.
Oh yeah.
You said it's 500 in the chat.
500.
500. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that's too bad.
I think it has a lighter feature too.
Yeah, and it's going to be distributed by Sideshow.
It's not bad.
I don't think it's up for pre-order yet, so maybe it'll be soon. But cool piece, I think.
Speaking of payment plans, First Four Figures has an awesome payment plan. They have like a 12-month 12-month payment plan. And if you wanted to, and you can't pay it off, you could actually delay it, and then have it for another 5 more months of payment plan. So they're pretty reasonable if you order not through Sideshow, through First Four Figures website.
Correctly. That's cool. Thanks, BJ.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool if you could push the button on his shirt and he'd just say, "It's a me and a Mario."
Well, I'm considering breaking my rule on this one. This is
I
my
know that's right.
Oh man,
favorite wrestler of all time. Styling and profiling, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Woo!
You got to ride Space Mountain, baby.
That's right.
Incredible.
I think this is really cool. I really like the Ultimate Warrior one too. I'm a big wrestling fan from way back, and I've met Ric Flair a couple times, and just always my favorite. So, what do you guys think? Would you guys want this in your collection? Of these wrestlers?
yeah,
Without a doubt.
Yep.
Ric Flair, man.
My wife, I would get it just because my wife's a huge wrestling fan.
I mean, remember the time where in WCW where he like started like taking his clothes off?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh my
He
goodness.
would do elbow drops on his suit.
It would just elbow drop the mat for no reason.
If I had this, I'd have to fire up the music every time I came down
Oh,
Right.
man.
Absolutely.
here. You know?
Do you guys like both head sculpts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of prefer this one more than just the regular.
Yeah, the Woo
I prefer that one, but the other one looks good too.
I think the one with the mouth open.
Yeah.
It's a little risque, but I think it has a little better likeness to in the face than the straight face.
I don't know. Ever since I heard Gio say look like Greg the Hammer Valentine, I kind of say, yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
I can see that a little.
Somebody, I think Alex said it looked
I
like
mean,
a
the
section dog.
Woo face. The other one I think looks like him, but the Woo face does look a little bit like Greg the Hammer Valentine a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if. Oops, sorry, I went back too far. I don't know if just like this section, like the chest, is the thing that pops out because the rest of it looks the same.
I thought
The only thing I wish that they would have done with this particular piece is had like the robe undone, and he should have had like the big gold belt on.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah,
that'd have been freaking cool.
The bowl would have been sick too.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or what a cool exclusive if somehow they could have it draped over him or on his shoulder or something. That would be awesome.
Damn, I can hear that music now in my head.
That's right. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, what I heard though is I thought this was a switch out torso, so probably at the belt that it changes out for a whole torso.
Well, that's what it says, but it's like exactly the same on both. Like the arms are the same.
Yeah, the body pose, but the head's different. But I guess that's how they got away with not having any seams.
Yeah, I'm just assuming this little V and pops out.
All that comes out, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
All right, so yay or nay?
Nay.
For free, yeah.
$1,600.
Wait, hold on. Wait a
I was
minute.
never a fan of this piece, actually.
Really?
Wait, I'm looking around. Oh wait, no, I don't see a penguin in my collection. So the answer is no.
Yeah, there's still no penguin.
Don't need a Batman until I get a penguin. Another Batman.
And I don't remember who said it earlier, but I've not read this particular comic either. So
I have read it. It's fine. I mean, it's a good storyline. I think it's really Batman's like 25 years old in this. It's his really it's it sort of retcons his origins Batman a little bit in terms of this story, and he ends up going up against the Riddler, and it's a long arc. It's like a year arc. I mean, it's a pretty long deal, and it was good. It was a good read, but it's just not my Batman.
Now, isn't this the art was done by Greg Capullo, correct?
Right.
In that series.
Yeah,
now,
and
this to me
this
looks
doesn't
very
really
Jim
represent
Lee.
that to me.
It looks very Jim Lee to me.
The head does, yeah.
And that's the thing. It's supposed to be a Capullo piece, but Capullo would be a little bit more cartoony than, I don't know. I guess they're both comics. I don't know, but I was surprised by the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt looks really good. But
I think it looks great. It's not something that I would have in my collection.
I definitely think that the base could be smaller.
Some pictures of the base there.
It's a pretty big base,
big,
but
actually. It is not that big. The
really?
bike is big, but yeah, I think it's a fair standard size, I would say.
Now, Steven, you were there, and you said that like the pieces, the little greenery and things, those were all like little plastic pieces, right?
Yeah, but they were very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, I think they look good here. They don't. I mean, I don't feel like they look like aquarium, decoration or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The only small issue I have is while the bike is quite dirty and probably some scratch marks on it, Batman itself, he's very clean. There's hardly any dirt or scratches on him. So I don't know if that's the nature of the comics. Like, was he always that clean? I
Looks
don't
like he has
know.
some tears in his costume a little bit.
Hey, one thing I wanted to ask you, Stephen. I know watching Rat Titan, I know Alex, when he was there, he was, kind of talking about this bicep over here. He felt it looked, kind of odd. Did you feel that way in person? Did you feel like it was a little bit weird? The shoulder over here?
Yeah, he I think he did mention it was a bit out of proportion, but to me it's not that big of an issue. I think it's
Okay.
okay. Yeah,
It looked fine
he
to
is
me. I just didn't
skinny.
know. Sometimes it looks different in person than it does in the photographs, So I just
Yeah, he is a
didn't
bit
know.
skinny, but if what you guys say is correct, I mean, in the 0 year, he's only 25 years old, so he's probably lean and mean, right? Compare with like say Dark Knight Returns, which is much older Batman.
Man, this is $1,600.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, it's.
I'd rather get Mr. Freeze 10 times over than that.
I would too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I've
almost
got
any
two.
1/3 piece.
Yeah, I've gotten 2 Grail pieces with the Batman Hush and Mr. Freeze in the last week, and the quality, the size. I mean, again, I just keep describing them as epic, and so I just don't know. I would I've heard collectors all day long say I would much rather buy this piece or a piece comparable that spend $1,600, which is way more on a small piece that's probably 1/4 ish scale. So it'll be real interesting to see what happens with that piece, how well it does for Prime 1.
Hey, Chris, a side question. Sorry,
Yeah.
a bit off topic here.
Sure.
That gun on Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
There's this little print. I forgot what it was. Because Virtual Devil, the other collector who made a video.
Yes.
Oh no, sorry, not Virtual Devil. I forgot the name of the other collector who did it.
Samuel, he did it.
He said that the B4 is
Yes.
inverted. Is that letter also inverted on yours?
Yes, actually, I'm glad you said that because when I was looking at it before we went on the air tonight, I noticed that too. I'm like, because I wasn't sure if I had the gun on right because it's a little tricky to get that gun in place. It's got a magnet, but you have to kind of jimmy it just right. And I will say that I noticed the B4. I think it's B4 or B14. Yeah, B4. It is upside down. So then I went to look at all the production or the initial images, the stuff from the website, and that's the way it is.
Oh, so it's game accurate.
It's game accurate. It's meant to be upside down.
Okay.
And one thing I want to mention that I thought was so sweet, the Nora exclusive, that's glass.
Oh, really?
Wow.
That is a glass dome. It is not plastic.
Better be careful with that.
Yeah, yeah. And I will say, so this is the fist. This is like the regular. This is a really strong magnet in it. This one's got a good magnet too, but there is some wobble. So it does worry me a little bit with the glass, but I mean it's in there really good. But there is some movement. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, I can see
Well,
it.
for this piece, it's definitely EX or fail.
Yeah, I mean the fist is cool, but man, having Nora there, and I don't want to say anything bad about the people that got it without the exclusive. I know that if you guys were watching my group Sideshow, I'm assuming that a bunch of people canceled their Sideshow pieces, and I heard that they got like 50 more exclusives in. I know a lot of collectors got. I know at least I think 7 collectors told me they got one. So
yeah,
I'm really happy for the people that got the exclusive.
Yeah, in the Prime 1 site, this exclusive is still waitlist. It's been waitlist for like ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that shows the popularity of Nora. But Chris, can I ask, what do you think of the water effect on the helmet of Freeze? Is that because I heard it was really cool that Prime 1 did the water effect?
I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this at all.
Oh yeah.
It's really neat. It's almost like it's 2 layers in this, and it's just got these little bubbles. So it does make it look like it's wet in there. I thought at first like maybe they would kind of like frost it over, like it'd be, like some like blue or something in there, and it's just all clear. But it does in a lot of areas look like little water droplets.
Yeah.
So it's very impressive. It's very subtle. I mean, it's not something. I mean, you really have to look for it, because it's already cloudy enough a little bit, so it kind of distorts the head a little bit. But just what a cool touch. Yeah, what a really cool touch.
Congratulations.
Quality.
Man.
And I like too that you can see Freeze's head up there. You don't have to have this dome on if you don't want to. There are 2 keys. You guys can see the 2 keys. So there is 2 gaps on the shoulder. If you're looking down on him, you could see them. But if you wanted to display him without the dome, you could.
Yeah, the helmet is so big. It looks as though you can almost wear that.
Yeah, I mean, here's my fist.
Wow.
You guys can see that right there. I mean, it's
wow.
Good size right there.
In terms of space,
this piece is not
the most space.
Yeah, I mean, this piece is not, in my opinion, as big as Croc, but it is just so girthy down here, especially when you add these.
Girthy.
Yeah, it's the word of the day, I guess. But like, it's just so well done. The boots are massive, and again, this, I don't know if I said this to you guys earlier or not, but I think I was telling my wife, but this body, it feels like pure metal. It is the heaviest thing I've ever lifted on a statue. Like, it is insane how heavy it is. I would recommend, if anybody out there is watching, and I'm gonna say the same thing on my review and unboxing, you have to have something that's going to be reinforced to have this on it, because it is heavy as all get out.
Wait, say that again. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that this thing is so heavy that you want to make sure that whatever you have it sitting on is reinforced.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do not put this on a $20 Walmart shelf. Okay? Do not, because it will break and fall off. Because it's heavy. I mean, this body here is heavier than Croc's body.
Wow.
Oh,
if
wow.
that tells you anything.
Are you worried about him on your shelves?
No. The reason why I'm not worried at all is because all my shelves are custom, and they all were made of garage shelving. So every single shelf is meant to withstand like 300 or 400 pounds.
Okay.
So, same thing about, people were kind of freaking out because I put the Batman up on top of my case, which it probably won't stay there. I don't know if I can. You guys can see him up there.
Dude, it looks so good up there, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him up there right now, and people were freaking out about the weight, and I don't worry about that at all because it's incredibly strong. I mean, I've had these shells for years, and not even one's coming close to even warping a little bit. So
Chris, are you gonna consider pairing Freeze up with Batman XC suit?
I love that piece, but that's not one I'm going to get. I just don't have the space, and the main reason is I have 3 long shelves, and each one can hold 4. So the one I actually have an extra. I still have my Robin, and I'm selling the Robin because I just don't have room to have all of them. But I've got Bane, Azrael, Two-Face, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Joker, Batman, Freeze, Scarecrow, Killer Croc, Arkham Knight, and Deathstroke. That's all the room I have for him. But otherwise, if I had a little bit more room, I'd probably consider getting that one. But I didn't play that particular version, so I don't. It's not as special to me, but it is an awesome, really cool piece.
I've got Batman XE on pre-order, and I've got Freeze over here in a box. I haven't unboxed it yet, and I thought it would make a great display. When I was a kid, I'd always get frustrated when I'd go to the store and they'd make 100 different Batmans or 100 different, I don't know whatever I was collecting, and then they wouldn't make a certain figure. Like, they didn't have Alfred, but then they had Batman with scuba gear, and so but I thought with Mr. Freeze and that going together, that's the reason I got the Batman XC, because I thought it's going to be this massive display. But mine are going to be boxed up and put in storage. So You know, I'm
when are
not
you
a-
going to get it out of storage, though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
want to
know.
see that. I want to see that so bad.
I can dream, right? I'm going to have a dream that I'm going to be able to see them together someday before I die.
The only time I saw them together was at one of the San Diego Comic-Cons, and I think they had them like facing each other. But what I want to see is them kind of like at an angle, you know, where you can see him really well. So I'm challenging you, Jason, right now to create an awesome display.
Yeah, I saw that. I forgot which Wonderfest it was, but it took a lot of real estate, a lot.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like,
It's not as big as the Croc base, but it just with all of the stuff sticking out, it just takes up a lot of room, like you said.
I think at that time, I when I first saw both of them together, it resembled half the size of a table tennis table,
Wow.
half the size of a ping pong table.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, well, I'll just get rid of my ping pong table that's in my apartment, and then I can set. I don't have a ping pong
No, you
table.
just need to get rid of half of it. Just get rid
Right.
Well, guys, we're about out of time for tonight. I want to wrap it up. I want to thank you guys so very much. I want to thank to our regulars, and I want to thank to our new folks that joined us tonight. It was so cool to have you guys on. It means the world to me that you want to spend your Wednesday evening with me and hang out, and it was just a lot of fun. And I hope we haven't solved any of the world's problems tonight with the statue world, but I think it comes down again to what Thor says a lot about being patient. You know, picking your battles, picking the pieces that mean a lot to you. I think the days of just buying everything you want are over. You know, you have to be selective and you have to be careful. You have to consider shipping. I know a lot of collectors, they message me and they're like, "Oh, I'm new to collecting. I didn't even think about spending $200 in shipping." So, you know, make sure you factor all that in. Make sure you know, like Ryan and I do spreadsheets, you know, take your time with this hobby because it is intense and it is stressful sometimes. And it seems like a lot of that's not going to go away anytime soon. But thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Again, like the video if you enjoyed the content, and watch tomorrow because I have my Mr. Freeze unboxing. I'm going to go edit it right now. So you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys all. See you in the Batcave. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Right.